Hey folks, Deano here again. This time taking another look at a Gundam Wing Gunpla model kit in the 144 scale. This is the Gundam Epyon, the real grade version specifically, because for some reason they haven't done it in high grade yet, and honestly I hope they never do, because the real grade would destroy it in every way possible. Unlike the wing, which was like very much accurate to what it looked like in the anime, the Epyon has gone through some upgrades. Yeah, this guy very much looks upgraded, shall we say, but not the English Waltz version upgraded. And that's a whole different thing. The Master Grade line, I'm sorry, I cannot speak today. The Master Grade line seems to work off the manga mostly. Glory of the Losers, I think that's what it's called. But yeah, this is an update to the actual anime itself render. So yeah, remember what I said about the Death Scythe being my favourite? I may be about to change my mind on that. Honestly, the Death Scythe is probably my favourite hero suit. Is that even a thing to say? But yeah, the Epyon, the Epyon's in a whole different league. Like, even just the original design of it is so unique compared to what a Gundam usually is. Which of course it should be. It's basically the antithesis of the Wing, or the Wing Zero to be exact. But yeah, bit of backstory. This was originally given to Hiro Yui when the Wing Gundam was destroyed, aka he self-destructed it for the 50th time and it finally went off. But yeah, this was given to him. I can't really remember the details, I'm sorry. But I think it was basically the main villain of the show, Treize Khushrenada, that gave him this suit. But Hiro decided he didn't like it, and then the Wing Zero was found. So Hiro took this, and Zeeks, there I remembered his name, Zeeks took this suit as his own, and basically became Hiro's rival for the rest of the show. So yeah, enough of my ramblings on the backstory of this suit, because if you're watching this, chances are you already know it all. If not, you just got a little bit of a useless blurb. So yeah, without further ado, let's take a look at the box. So yeah, box is your standard model kit style box. It's a bit deeper because there's more sprues in the box. That's real grades for you. The amount of detail that's in these figures is just insanity. Like, honestly, it even blows master grades out of the box, out of the water. But yeah, Bandai Spirits 2023, made in Japan. So this is, at time of this recording, the most up to date and last release from the Gundam Wing series, which is a bit of a shame. Like, I hope they, even if we don't get any more high grades of, like, say for example the Endless Waltz suits, I would really love some real grades of those suits instead, like the Death Scythe Hell Custom, the, what is it, the Ultron is the Shenlong version, the Heavy Arms Custom, and unfortunately the Sandrock Custom, which yeah, still not a fan. But yeah, hopefully we get some of those in the future. I'm crossing my fingers, because if not, apart from the Sandrock, like, I'm almost done with the Gundam Wing model kits, so I'm going to have to look into new ones. Anyway, back to the box. 15 plus, which I do kind of agree with. The real grades are on a whole different level to the high grades. There is so many intricate details on these kits. Like, pretty much every bit of red, blue, yellow, white, it's all separate pieces. And a lot of them are really tiny, to the point that I literally sliced my finger in a few places with the X-Acto knife, trying to get the sprues off them, which wasn't fun. But yeah, the build itself was fun. I do really love building these model kits. My newfound passion. Yeah, on the side we have some nice pictures of everything you can do. That massive claymore beam sword, which we will look at later. On the back, just some more pictures. No glue, use nippers, colour parts. I will agree with the no glue this time. Not a single piece feels as if it will just fly off if I look at it the wrong way, which you would expect from a real grade. And yeah, a render of his alt mode, which kind of looks convincing from here, but I mean, if I attempt it in the video, you'll see it's literally just him doing a yoga pose. The rest of the torso is underneath the legs. So yeah, but I will admit that is one of the reasons I love the Epyon. Like, it's one of the more convincing transformations, almost delving into like Transformers territory. So yeah, but yeah, that'll do it for the box. Let's take a look at what he comes with. So yeah, in terms of hands, he comes with 2 pairs and 1 odd hand, which I find a bit odd. Like, we're paying all this money for a real grade, and you couldn't just give us 1 extra hand. But yeah, he comes with a pair of fists that are on him in the box. Well, not on him in the box. I'm used to talking about normal figures, but it's the default hands that they expect you to put on, so that's what I did. He comes with a pair of grippy hands right here, which surprisingly, like, real grades, well, the 2 that I've built so far, the Zero EW and the Wing Gundam, those hands had like tabs and stuff with them, which made them a bit more intricate and delicate to use. But these ones are pretty much just your standard hand. Only difference is they're circular peg hole instead of just a square one. The hands are also more rounded, like the fingers. So yeah, that's a detail I never noticed with the Epyon, but I mean, it looks good. It differentiates him from the rest of them. So yeah, the hands are also very tight. The only use for it, admittedly, is the massive beam claymore sword thing. So yeah, I can see why we only got a basic pair of grippy hands. And yeah, for whatever reason, just a standard open palm hand. It's not even a posy hand, it's just sort of there, which I find a little bit strange. They couldn't put 1 more of these on the sprue. Like, I don't understand it. I really don't. We get his sort of whip slash shield, which is this bad boy right here. You can separate it. Looks really nice. You'll notice I put on some stickers onto this guy. I followed the instructions mostly, but I liked how some looked on it better than what the instructions told you. Like, I don't really like things that's only on one side. Like, they're not parallel. I can't describe it. But yeah, I mostly followed the instructions with them. But yeah, the whip itself, surprisingly, I still don't know exactly how they do these, but the real grade used to use advanced MS joints for the entire frame, like the Wing Zero Custom. This is all that came in the Epyon's box with the advanced MS joint, which this was already on the sprue, and I have no idea how they managed to do it, because each and every one of these is jointed, and they do have a sort of snap to them, which hopefully means they won't loosen up as much as the MS joints used to do. But yeah, it's really cool that you didn't have to go through the monotony of putting this entire thing together. So yeah, but if anyone knows how they get these on the sprue without like the plastic fusing together, obviously, I would love to know. Like, please put it in the comments. So yeah, if you want it to look like the whip is not extended, you just pop that off. You pop this bit out. If I can, come on, bear with me. There we go. So you just pop that out, flip this peg round like so, pop that back in, and then you take the tail spike at the end and pop that on instead, and you have the closed up version of the shield. Unfortunately, you have like the whip section as parts forming, but there's not really much you can do about that. Like, there's no way all that whip is fitting into this tiny shield, is it? So yeah, give me 2 seconds and I will put this back in its position again. And just like that, it's back together. So pretty simple to do, just a bit finicky to do on the camera. And that just fits onto the side with a small peg, nice and easy. Finally, we get to his main weapon, which is this behemoth of a beam sword. Actually massive, it's the same height as him, which surprisingly he can hold it just fine. But yeah, the whole point of this in the show was that it was so powerful, it actually needed its own power pack attached to the wing, the Gundam, sorry, just to get the thing working. So yeah, it looks good. I do appreciate that. This is surprisingly an actual wire with metal through it. It doesn't appear too, like, you can't really pose the wire, which is a bit strange considering the fact they put a wire in it. But yeah, I suppose it holds its shape a bit better, and those just friction fit into these, and that just pops on there like so. I'm not going to do it right now because you need to pop it apart to put it in the hand anyway, which I will show in a second. The sword itself, I put a little extra detail on there to try and hide the stress marks, because Bandai in their wisdom, this piece comes on the sprue in one piece. You don't put it together. But unfortunately, they then put sprue on the very tips, so you have to be incredibly careful with that. In fact, most of the like navy blue that's on this kit is very prone to stress marks and sort of chipping. So yeah, if you are going to attempt this kit, be very careful with that. Be very, very careful. But yeah, I love this effect. It just clips in like so and is lovely. I believe it also like fluoresces with the light. Kind of see it there, sort of thing. It's better with a black or a blue light. Mine's are just standard lights, so it doesn't really show that well. And finally, if we call them accessories, is his flight adapters. You have this one for the mobile suit mode, as it's called. You get 2 pegs One's a 3mm, which fits standard display stands. And then you've got the square one, which is more for Gundam specific flight stands, which I'm not sure why they need to make that distinction. Like, considering the fact that standard Tamashii stages you can tighten with screws. So I'm not sure why they need the extra support, especially because model kits tend to be quite light. Like, it's one of the reasons they usually have trouble standing if they've got any sort of heavy backpack, which I'm happy to report this guy doesn't. He's an outlier. But yeah, the mobile armor mode, I believe it's called, the Dragon mode, comes with this adapter, which unfortunately only has the Gundam specific square peg hole, which means you can't really put him in the air unless you have that stand in Dragon mode. But I mean, who's going to have him in Dragon mode to begin with? Anyone with half a brain is going to display him like this. But yeah. Let's take a look at the figure now, shall we? Oh no, he did come with the real grade stickers. You'll notice there is still an absolute ton of stickers on here. I put on what I thought looked nice. The back is not done because you will never see the back. I did not want to waste all the time doing that. But yeah, the real grade stickers, they're decent, but you really see the border of the sticker, specifically on the navy blue. The red, not so much. You can kind of get away with it, but once we take a closer look at the figure, you'll see the navy blue stickers, they aren't great. But yeah, let's take a look at them now. So yeah, in terms of the kit itself, as I said, real grades, a ton of detail, like so much that it took me 2 days to build this, to be completely honest, but absolutely worth it, like the amount of detail that's in this. Plus there is not a single polycap to be seen, so no loose joints, right now at least, and no advanced MS joints on this guy whatsoever. So yeah, I really love the two-tone red, like that sort of burgundy red and the more deep red, really makes the entire thing pop. But yeah, the one major difference between this and the like an anime accurate one would really be the shoulders. The shoulders in the anime had, I think, much more of an angle to them, whereas these are more straight up with a slight angle. But apart from that, like, this guy's perfect. Absolute perfection. You'll see on the back, there is still a hell of a lot of detail. I just didn't bother sticking the back up, like, at all. And for the first time, like, in my experience, admittedly I don't have a lot of said experience, but the face, the green and the black of his eyes are actually done in like clear green plastic and a specific black piece to border it, so you don't need to use the stickers at all. And in fact, because of that, a lot of people have showed this already, but he has some insanely good light piping for a Gundam. So yeah, really like that. You also get clear green parts for like the feet or the dragon eyes. But yeah, one thing I will say is the legs in the anime, they were grey at the top, whereas here it's like an off-white. It's not a terrible change, I just wish it was a bit more accurate, just in my opinion. But yeah, apart from that, absolute spotless perfection. Like I said, you can see the outline quite clearly on the stickers in navy blue, which is a bit of a shame. I may look into water slides. I did have a couple of viewers mention them in previous videos. I really need to relearn how to do them first, before I go trying to stick them onto figures. But yeah, I will attempt it. And as anyone has actually noticed, he stands perfectly fine without a stand. The wings, even though they are quite heavy, like there's lots of layers to these wings, which I'll go over in the articulation, yeah, they don't really hinder his feet. And unlike the wing, you have quite a lot of like heel space, flat foot space. I can't really think of the name for it. But yeah, he has a really good centre of balance, especially for such a top heavy figure. But yeah, the wings, like even if you, I have them angled to such a degree where it's easier for him to stand, but even if I tip the centre of balance with the wings, like he isn't falling unless you really try. Like, yeah, this is my favourite model kit. I'm just going to out and say it. Like, the wing looks beautiful. I have it for comparisons at the end, but yeah, this guy he's on a whole nother level. I'm sorry. He really is. But yeah, let's take a look at articulation now, which there is a fair amount in it for such a small figure. He can look up really well. He can look decently down. You get some nice side to side, despite the massive ears. And you do get a bit of pivot to the side, but it does tend to pop off a bit. So be careful with that. The arms do have a sort of double joint system going. So it goes up that far normally. You can also pull the hinge out and have it going up that much. They do swivel completely unhindered. The shoulders themselves go up like so. If you want to put the arm forward without the shoulders looking weird, you can do that, and then move the joint itself independently. I can't get that to move. Have I thought of that wrong? I believe I have. So yeah, I'm starting to think that's more just for if you want a deeper elbow cut sort of thing. But the front and back of the shoulders does the same thing. Elbows can go that far. There is a hinge at the wrist as well to get even more rotation. Bicep swivel, hinge or ball joint, sorry, at the wrist. The shoulders can pop out as well to get some more range. Just be very careful of that joint. It seems quite fragile. The sort of torso section, you can pop it out a bit, which gives you quite a lot of bend forward. This front piece here actually moves alongside the joint to make it more realistic. Can go back really far. You can see a lot of the inner details there. You just pop that on, and you can pop that back down into its own hinge. Swivel at the waist, no ball joint. The hip flaps can get out of the way, so you just have to watch these fins here. They do feel a bit fragile. They might snap, so be careful. Can kick out that far. He can't unfortunately kick back any. The back section is actually for transformation. So yeah, a bit of a shame there, but what you're going to do, thigh rotation, you get a double joint at the knee, which on its own gets that far, and you get a little bit of break at the red here. Actually makes it look as if the red is a sort of outer armour on a standard Gundam leg, which is really cool. I love that. You can also, yeah, I popped it completely, but you can see there is a ball joint right there. So you can kind of pop it out and you get some nice extra movement there on top. Feet. This piece is a floating piece, but even without it, foot can go back that far, forward that far. Feet can go forward because we have this sort of dragon head. You can pop that open as well for the flight mode. Pivot is actual, like, front and back of the foot is separate, so you can get that into some nice poses as well. Some nice hinge that way, probably the best hinge we've seen from these Gundam figures so far, and really good hinge the other way as well. So yeah, overall guys, like, I love this figure, and the fact that I built it myself makes it even, like, more rewarding to me. I think that's why I love these model kits so much, is because you actually do the effort yourself to build it. I know some people like to think, like, model kits are lazy, because obviously model kits are just action figures that Bandai hasn't bothered to put together. That's honestly what they are. Normal action figures are built the exact same way at the end of the day. But yeah, I have decided, like, the video's already gone on long enough. I won't show the dragon form. I'm sure other YouTubers have shown it already. Like I said, it does look decent. This power pack just connects to the side like so, by the way. But yeah, I'm sure, like, other reviewers have already showed it off, so I don't think there's any point in me wasting everyone's time putting it together. Just getting his centre of balance back on. And I shall finish putting all the bits and pieces on, like so. So yeah guys, overall, I love this figure. This is probably the best model kit I've built so far. Best looking, best designed, best articulation, best everything. Like, this is a perfect figure. I only wish they would have put the same effort into this guy as they did into the wing, which, for comparisons, this guy is also huge compared to the wing. Right there. But yeah, overall I love the simplicity of the wing, but the Epyon just takes it purely on design alone, like, honestly. But yeah guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Link in the description to purchase this guy. He is unfortunately the most expensive of the model kits that I have built so far. But yeah, overall, let me know what you think. I will see you all next time.